which means we're live. Some Casual Takes, episode 55, hosted by your boy Stephen Pepper, here to casually talk sports. And I just realized that I did not send out that I'm live on my Snapchat, so none of my friends are going to see this. What a fumble, but it's okay. It's not like anyone's going to listen anyways. This episode is brought to you by no one. I'm here with Kieran. What's up, bro?
What's up?
What you got going on today, bro? It's Monday, August 14th.
You know, it's August. We're getting to the point of football.
Don't bring up school. Don't.
We're getting to the point of fantasy football. So.
Okay, good. I thought you were going to say it's almost time for back to school. I don't want to think about it just yet.
I need to go back to July, bro.
July went by really fast. So you said you got your fantasy football draft today. Yep. Can I get some thoughts on your draft board? Can I get some comments? Who's on your board? Do you know what pick you're going?
So I have the 5th pick.
On a how many man league? 12 man, 8 man
league.
12 man. Okay, it's not terrible.
I got some options. I can go with the safest pick and pick my favorite tight end in the league,
Travis Kelce. Yes. Yes.
Do I go with I want to pick Travis Kelce or Tyreek Hill? Because I don't usually like picking rookies because I know Bijan's going to be there. I usually don't like picking them.
So who's getting taken top? Unless there's a really good running back left, I'd probably take Tyreek Hill. And then just if Kelce goes, because you're probably not going to get Kelce since this is a snake draft, probably just bank on getting Kittle, honestly, or Mark Andrews later on.
So our draft got we're doing one keeper. I don't know.
Okay. You have a one keeper.
So this dude is keeping Jefferson, but he picked him 11th last year.
I'd keep Jefferson. He was offensive player of the year last year. I don't see him slowing down.
So I think the first 4 picks are going to be Kupp, Chase, which is weird, but I guess it's going to be Eckler and McCaffrey. So
I take Tyreek.
Yeah, I want to take Kelce because he has a touchdown upside, but I'm not sure if that's sustainable. But
dude, it's bro. I want to talk. I'm going to talk. I'm not talking about him on this pod unless you have a rant to go on. But I was going to talk about it later because you just talk about how Bijan's going to be at 5. Dude, this Bijan hype's getting a little crazy, bro.
Yeah, the problem with Bijan is not. It's not that I don't think he's talented. If you know anything about the Falcons running back room, they never really give big workloads, even to rookies that quick. I mean, Tyler Algier at the end of the season because I think everyone was hurt, got a big workload, but I'm staying away from Bijan.
Beast Move posted a video today. He does. You remember? Beast Move does those not stopping until I find a better player. Then he did a Nick Chubb edition, and he chose Bijan Robinson over Nick Chubb.
That is a take.
I'm already hearing Bijan's a top. I've seen some lists that Bijan's already a top 10 player in the league. I'm already dude, I don't think Bijan's gonna be bad. But can we pump the brakes? I think Bijan's going to be really good. If you have him in fantasy, I think he's probably going to be offensive rookie of the year. It's fine. But can we relax? Nick Chubb's the best running back in the game, arguably. And a guy who's never played a snap on NFL speed is better than him.
Yeah. I want to say this right now. To all the people out there on TikTok, please stop ranking rookies before they play an actual game. It makes no sense.
Facts.
You could project them where they're going to be, but stop ranking them before the season when they haven't played one regular season game. It makes no sense.
I don't want to see Jahmyr Gibbs and Bijan Robinson in top 10 running back list.
I don't want to see Bryce Young top 16 because I remember when Trevor Lawrence was coming out, everyone was saying he was already top 16. And then he had a terrible rookie season.
Trevor Lawrence, well, some of that's because of Urban Meyer. Trevor Lawrence is different, though, because, man, I always felt like Trevor Lawrence was one of the best quarterback prospects of the last 20 years. Him, Luck. He was in that type of tier. He was a guy who I felt like he could probably be a top 20 quarterback just off rip. and I think a lot of people were saying that. But
Man,
yeah, he had a disappointing rookie year, but the Jags were not that good, and Urban Meyer was just a disaster. But look what we saw. But yeah, I don't rank rookies until I see them take a snap. And we're going to get into rookies later today. On today's topics, we got rookies in the preseason. We're going to be talking about how they played. We're going to go into Trey Lance, my least favorite player in the NFL. And also my second least favorite player in the NFL, Justin Fields. We're going to get to his performance, how we feel about
I
Justin
love
Fields.
this. I'm gonna tell you, man.
But we're feeling good today. It's the first Monday after a week of football. I mean, it's not regular season football, but it feels good. You know, that Monday after a Sunday weekend full of games feels good being back in football season. We're not quite there yet. It's like the tip's in. The tip is in, but like we're not fully in. But pause. But it's pretty good. I don't know if you can tell I got a tan. Pretty burnt from vacation. I was gone. That's why I made no show on Friday. But I'm back. I was in the 305. I was in Miami. But I'm ready to talk some ball. But before we get into football, I want to talk about this that just came out literally this morning. So over the weekend, we know James Harden, Philly could not find a deal for James Harden. So they just said, we're going to stop doing trade talks. Daryl Morey said, we're confident James Harden to be there in camp. But James Harden immediately says, I ain't showing up in camp. I ain't coming. Today, James Harden had his own like little camp for kids. I don't even know why he was speaking on this. I don't know the context behind this, but he was speaking to kids in camp who just only want to play basketball. They don't want to hear about James Harden drama. James Harden said at his camp, Daryl Morey is a liar, and I'll never be a part of an organization that he's a part of. Now, I don't know what you have. I don't know your thing on James Harden, Kieran, but I remember we talked about that James Harden a couple weeks back. What I'm hearing is that James Harden took a pay cut last season and was promised to get compensated this year, but Philly didn't compensate him, so that's why he just doesn't want to participate with them. But I'm so confused. Like he signed that he bought into his option. I don't know what's going on with James Harden.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm just tired of James Harden at this point. Like I hear drama like almost like every 2 days about James Harden.
Been since 2021, dude.
Like,
I think I'm a little
like
burnt
ever since he left Houston, it's just like been the most dumb like drama.
Him,
like
Kyrie, him, Kyrie, Kevin Durant, and Damian Lillard for like 2 months. Now, Damian Lillard, I think he said he will show up to camp if he doesn't get traded, unlike James Harden. But I'm done hearing those guys. I'm seeing them on Twitter every day.
I mean, my thing about Dame, like at least he like requested a trade, and he's gonna show up to camp at least. Because like Dame's not that type of person. Like we know what Dame is. He's gonna be loyal regardless if he requests a trade. Like I wouldn't be shocked if Dame gets traded like mid-season. Like I wouldn't be shocked.
That'll be a huge deadline move, kind of like Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
And Kyrie. But man, you know what's funny about this whole thing is just how James Harden's not going to suit up. That we're 10 going on 11 years in this process, Kieran.
Bro, like I'm gonna say this. People have to understand that like the process is already failed. It's failed dramatically. Draft Ben Simmons, you draft Joel Embiid, you get all these players like Tobias Harris, you get James Harden, and you still haven't gone to a conference finals game.
Dude, like I'm not gonna lie. The process might be the biggest failure in NBA history. Like it's cooked. It's over. We're going on 11 years in now. A decade plus. And you have no conference finals, not an NBA final, no conference final to show for it. I remember when they announced the process, I was in middle school, dude. And I'm almost done with college.
Yeah,
and I haven't seen a single thing to show for it. And it's been over a decade. I mean, when they blew it up, they blew up that roster in 2013, and they were horrible for a long period of time. But when you're horrible, you get all that draft capital, and they sold the fans, hey, we got this draft capital. We're going to be good soon. Off rip, drafted bust. Julio Ford drafted Marco Fultz over Jason Tatum. Already drafted bust. And the other guys that they drafted, Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons, promising guys, but they were injured to start their career. But when the promising guys finally got healthy and saw the court, Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid, and they were able to build a good roster around them 5 years later, Philly finally had like a title contending team, and they couldn't get out of the second round. But it's fine though. Like running back the next year, right? Oh no, let's just pick Tobias Harris over Jimmy Butler. One of the worst moves of the recent decade. And Jimmy Butler, pretty good player, right? Kieran, you're the Jimmy freaking Butler. Yeah, pretty good player, right? Per Dwayne Wade, Jimmy Butler is going to be a future Hall of Famer. He's taken the Miami Heat to 2 NBA finals and 3 conference finals since 2019, something Philly's never done since the process started. But, year after the next following year since Jimmy Butler left, their duo of Simmons and Embiid just piled up injuries. Where Philly was like, we're done with this duo. All right, Ben Simmons, you're gone. Bring in James Harden. And they still couldn't get past the second round. And now James Harden's about to leave.
The most frustrating.
And now they're just left with Joel Embiid with an MVP trophy case to show for the entire process. Second round exits and an MVP. That's it.
The most frustrating thing is like when you look about the process and like their championship window like basically ended after 2019, really.
Yeah.
Like, because like that's when Ben Simmons started to like get injured and like just not care about basketball. I mean, Joel Embiid became an MVP candidate, which is like nice, but like the team overall just got worse. Like, I'm just tired of I'm tired. Like the Sixers are like the freaking Chargers in the NBA, where they get hyped up every year, and they just lose in the first or second round every time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and it's just like, dude, and they also have some injury-prone players too. And it's like, man, that window especially, I really thought Philly, you couldn't argue that Philly might have been better than Toronto that year. Like, they were almost rival. Like, they were Kawhi Leonard shot away from going to the conference finals.
Yeah,
they were that good.
4 bounce buzzer beater.
They were that good, and that was their window. And like I said, just running back the next year, you still had JJ Redick, you still had Joel Embiid, who was an All-NBA player, was an MVP, but he was an All-NBA player. Ben Simmons was an All-Star, and you let Jimmy Butler go. You paid Tobias Harris.
The weird thing is that Joel Embiid after next season will be 30.
And what's also funny too is the guy that they let go, Jimmy Butler, beat him in the playoffs. Beat him in the playoffs with James Harden, with Joel Embiid. Beat him in the playoffs.
And Sixers fans complained that like Embiid was hurt. Like he was, but like there comes to a point in time where Joel Embiid cannot be hurt. There has to be a point in time. He's been hurt every playoffs.
You still have Harden. You still have Maxey. You still have Tobias Harris. Like, get a couple more games, man. Came into a conference final. This year was just embarrassing, too, man. 3-2 lead. Come on, dog.
Jason Tatum played the worst game of his life.
And you still let him go off in the fourth quarter and you couldn't close the deal when you had a lead. Like, come on, dude.
How do you make a dude start like 0 of 12 and then just go 5 of 5 in the fourth quarter?
It's just Doc Rivers didn't work. Brett Brown didn't work. We're 10 years in.
I'm going to say this right now. Doc Rivers is the scapegoat. I'm not saying that Doc Rivers is a good coach, but like they were losing in the second round before Doc Rivers even got there.
I said when they lost to Boston that Doc Rivers was sort of a scapegoat. I mean, I still said you probably should fire Doc Rivers, but because you kind of have to, because it's easier to fire a coach than a player. But like Doc Rivers, it's not Doc Rivers' fault. James Harden was going like 0 for 6 in fourth quarters in games like 5, 6, and 7. Like, wasn't his fault. Wasn't his fault. Embiid couldn't post up Marcus Smart in a playoff game. Like, it wasn't Doc Rivers' fault.
Listen, I understand that like Doc Rivers, like especially in the Clippers, like Doc Rivers was obviously the scapegoat because like Kawhi and Paul George didn't show up in Game 7. There has to be coming to a point where like Joel Embiid and James Harden played terrible in Game 7.
Mm-hmm.
Like how much blame can you give onto the coach? Like, yeah, I guess like the defensive side of the ball, but like and the schemes and stuff. But like There has to become a point where James Harden has never showed up in the playoffs, like, ever in his life. Joel Embiid is always hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he touches air and he gets hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I
Start
don't
this
know.
year. Before we move on to football, it's like now that James Harden's saying he won't report to camp, what is going to happen? There's no trade market for him. What's happening here? Is he going to get cut, or is he just not going to play, or is he just going to like suck it up and actually just show up to camp, or are they just going to or is he going to put up a fat suit and they're just going to take the only deal on the table? Like, what's happening?
I don't know, man. Like, why would the Clippers want him anyway? You know, he's gonna be like this.
Yeah, but my biggest question is he doesn't want to show up to camp. There's no market for him. So what the hell is Philly about to do with James Harden?
He's just gonna sit out, I guess.
Is he going to sit out and just not play? I feel like probably maybe James Harden. My prediction is either James Harden sucks it up and plays, but then he ends up getting traded because he just gives no effort in practice. He probably does a fat suit, and they just take the worst trade possible. Like Philly will just take anything from James Harden.
People don't understand this. We're like 2 months away from the NBA season.
We're close. We're close.
I know. I know everyone's talking about football, but like, I don't
Camp
know.
should start soon. Like
Yeah.
basketball camp should start soon. Preseason starts October. 2 months away.
Yeah.
We're going to move on to football now. Justin Fields. Pretty good game. We had Titans, Bears. Over the weekend, we had some Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday preseason games. So let's talk about this game first. Justin Fields. Everyone's looking for Justin Fields. Had that year 3 leap. A lot of expectations for Justin Fields. You have a fantasy draft later. I know Justin Fields is going to go very high.
Unfortunately, someone's keeping him.
Oh, wow. He's their one keeper.
Well, to be fair, last year they took him in the last round.
So Justin Fields yesterday. No, this was Saturday. 3 for 3, 129 yards and 2 touchdowns. Perfect quarterback rating, Kieran. Are you impressed by Justin Fields' play over the weekend?
No. Like, listen, I don't want to crap on Fields, but like those throws were like they were the easiest throws I've ever seen. Like I can or you can make those throws. They're not that difficult. The freaking screen to DJ Moore, that was the easiest throw I've ever seen. Like, I'm not impressed. I need to see more.
I think my reaction to Justin Fields, his performance, when I watched that Bears game, I do see the Bears got better. I do think offensively, I see some better playmakers than last year, especially DJ Moore. I think offensively, the team got better in terms of playmakers. But in terms of Justin Fields as an individual, he only threw the ball 3 times. There wasn't Justin Fields took that passer leap. There wasn't that passing jump that I saw that I wanted to see from Justin Fields. He just threw 2 screens, 2 checkdowns that went 50 yards. And I mean, if you look at 3 for 3, 129, you would look like he was throwing perfect verticals down the field that were going for touchdowns. But when you check the tape, they were all screens that his playmakers were taking to the house. Now, again, Bears fans, Khalil Herbert, DJ Moore, playmaking-wise, the Bears will be better than they were last year. But when it comes to Justin Fields as an individual, nah. I didn't see anything that says, Justin Fields is going to take that 3-year leap. No.
This reminds me of his first preseason game because I thought that game he played in was way better than this one. I'm sorry. Justin Fields, I've crapped on Fields. I said he's the worst passing starting quarterback in the league, and that's just not me hating. It's literally a fact. And his pocket presence was awful last year. I just don't think getting DJ Moore is just gonna make Justin Fields a top 10 quarterback in the league.
Yeah, I think it's just going to make the offense better, but as an individual, as a thrower, I don't see much here to say, oh, Justin Fields was going to be better. Now, is Justin Fields going to play in preseason game number 2? Do we know?
He might play a drive.
Hopefully, I see some more down the field stuff because that's what I want to see. Can Justin Fields pressure on, launch it down the field, step up, make that throw when he has to? I've been asking for the last 2 years. Haven't seen it. It's time now.
Yep.
But I got some check downs, and everyone on Twitter is going crazy. Justin Fields. No,
Yeah, it's great. You know what it reminds me of? Tom Brady's career.
The check down to Sony Michel Merchant, James White Merchant. Check down at Leonard Fournette Merchant. So you're not impressed at all by Justin Fields?
No, like what am I supposed to be impressed with? Like he threw like a freaking 5-yard pass. Like, congrats, I guess.
You want a cookie, Justin Fields?
Yeah. You made like the easiest pass ever. Like, congrats.
Breaking news, guys. Justin Fields, 3 for 3, 129, 2 touchdowns, 43 yards per pass. Justin Fields, that's that year 3 leap. MVP season loading. Yeah, okay, bro.
I'm gonna say this: the Bears are gonna go like 6-11, and like again, dude, they still aren't good. They're not good.
Nah, dude, I still need to see more from Justin Fields. I just do.
Like, bro, I can tell you this: like, no one knows who's on their D line. Like, their D line is the worst in the league.
Bears fans, I get it. You got something to be excited for. I mean, like I said, before we wrap this up, like I said, the offense, it's getting better. DJ Moore looks pretty good. That's a good addition to be a playmaker on your team, to add more explosiveness to that offense, help out Fields. But nothing I saw yesterday showed year 3 leap from Justin Fields. I think Justin Fields' rookie season could have made that throw. There are 2 screens that went up down, like 2 screens, 2 check downs that their playmakers just exploded and got 50-yard touchdowns. Nothing that Justin Fields did was impressive.
Jimmy Garoppolo Merchant.
I need to see regular season Justin Fields. I'll remind everybody, he's 5-20 as a starter. I haven't seen a single game in his career where he beat a team through the air and won the game in the pocket and made the correct throws down the stretch to win football games. Haven't seen a single game yet. Until then, I'm not impressed by Justin Fields. And I know, Kieran, you're not either.
Nope.
All right. Another guy I'm not impressed by, and another guy that I wish this team, I said since day one, this team is going to make the worst decision ever by trading up and taking this guy at 3. Trey Lance played yesterday.
Trey Lance sucks. Just gonna say that bluntly. He's just really, really bad. Like, I know the stat sheet says 10 of 15, 2 touchdowns. He should have had 2 interceptions. And he looked so flustered in the
4
pocket.
sacks.
Yeah. Trey Lance is really bad.
Is it time we call him a bust, or is it too early?
Okay, I'm gonna say this right now. I usually don't like calling bust after the 3rd year, because some quarterbacks do go to a Dune team and they do perform well, but I just don't see that Trey Lance. Trey Lance is a bust. If you're competing the backup role with Sam Darnold, I'm sorry, you're a bust. I don't care. And Sam Darnold is trash.
What this team could have been if they would have spent that draft selection on Jamar Chase or just
Jalen Waddle
or someone else. What
Jalen Waddle and Debo would be insane.
Listen, when it comes to Trey Lance, first of all, he came from a no-name school, played no comp. Mm-hmm. Well, what was it, North Dakota State, something like that?
Yes, same place as Wentz.
Was he a 1-year starter too?
Yeah, he was a 1-year starter.
1-year starter, no-name school. Trey Lance. Took him number 3 over a guy like who was in that draft? Mac Jones. Who else was in that draft? Let me pull up that draft, by the way. So I don't.
So Zach Wilson, T.Y. Oh, Fields.
Okay, I think Fields is better than him. I think Fields is better than him. Let me make sure I got this draft up so I don't like.
Let me see this draft. So they could have taken. So let's see. So they had the 3rd pick. They could have taken. They could have taken Kyle Pitts, which, I mean, he's
They
basically
had Kittle. I'm not taking.
yeah.
Kittle.
They have Kittle, but he's basically a receiver. They had Jamar Chase. That would have been insane. Jalen Waddle, Penei Sewell, J.C. Horn, Patrick Surtain, Devontae Smith.
This team would be in so much better. Like I think this team would be automatic Super Bowl if they had a lockdown corner.
Bro, just look
like
at
if this
the
team
top.
had, if this team had Surtain, imagine how much better you would feel about picking 49ers.
Bro, just look at the top 13 picks. They could have taken Rashawn Slater or Micah Parsons.
Yeah, Micah on this team. Oh my God, that's the best defense of all
Micah.
time. Probably that's the best defense ever. You probably got the best linebacker in the league. Probably maybe one of the best edge rushers in the league. That's
one
of the best.
You got both 2 top 4 edge rushers on your team,
and then Warner in the middle. Like that's a legit defense.
Don't forget Greenlaw.
Yeah. Slater and Trent Williams duo. I mean, Mac Jones was taking that draft. Yeah. I mean,
Future Hall of Famer Najee Harris.
Okay. Year 3 leap coming. ETN. I mean, they're not drafting any of those guys to that pick, but you get what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying about Trey Lance. Like Trey Lance, North Dakota State, no name school, didn't play competition, 1-year starter. The San Francisco 49ers took him 3 when they could have taken a guy like Justin Fields, who I'm not even high on Justin Fields. I think Justin Fields is better than Trey Lance. They could have took Mac Jones. Well, I'm not even that high on Mac Jones. All those guys are better in college. All those guys, I think, had a bit better floor than Trey Lance. They could have taken him at 3. Or if they didn't want to go quarterback, they could have taken Jamar Chase. Imagine this offense with Jamar Chase or Jalen Waddle. Imagine Trent Williams blocking alongside Penei Sewell or Sean Slater. Or imagine Joey Bosa lined up with, I'm not Joey Bosa, imagine Nick Bosa lined up with Micah Parsons. Or imagine this defense. I feel like their biggest weakness on this team is their secondary. Imagine this defense at Surtain. But instead, they picked Trey Lance, who I felt like they never needed to trade him because I felt like this team didn't really need a quarterback. I mean, they do need a quarterback, but I don't think this team needs a special quarterback to at least contend for a Super Bowl. And Trey Lance is a bust. And you saw the trade with the Dolphins. The pick that they used was picked to use the trade the Dolphins they made with Trevor Lawrence. What am I trying to say? The pick in that deal for Trey Lance that Miami used later in the draft was used for Jalen Waddle. Another pick was used for trading for Tyreek Hill. Another pick was used for trading for Bradley Chubb. That was in the Trey Lance deal. Oh, it wasn't a Trey Lance deal, but that was in a deal for the pick that was used to pick Trey Lance. And it's like, dude.
Listen. The thing about Trey Lance is that so many people are going to blame the injury, but like, dude, I know it was in a monsoon. I understand that, but he looked terrible in that game. He looked terrible. And now we're seeing in the preseason, he looks even worse. Like, I'm sorry. Like,
he just doesn't look like the guy that you want commanding this team.
Like, the Niners have a window where these players are in their primes and they can't wait for Trey Lance to develop. They just can't.
No.
Like Kittle's like 30, Fred Warner's like 27, like Nick Bosa's 26. Like these guys are in their prime now. They can't wait for Trey Lance in 2 years. They just can't.
This is Brock Purdy's team, bro. This is Brock Purdy's team.
Listen, you can say Brock Purdy's like below average. You can say he's like carried by the system. But like Brock Purdy, like he's a quality starter, like in a good situation. That's more than you can ask for.
So what do they even do with Trey Lance? Like what do we do?
I would trade him. Trade him to like Tampa. I don't know.
Yeah, but what would they get in return? Because they gave up a lot for Trey Lance. They gave up multiple first round picks for Trey Lance.
I'll give up a 7th-round pick.
And that's probably one of the worst draft selections ever. Even if Trey Lance, somehow becomes like okay on another spot, for San Francisco to give up all that, that's a horrible spot. So again, are we saying that Trey Lance is a bust?
Yes. I don't care what people say. It's like, oh well, he got injured and like Brock Purdy like played really well. I was like, I don't care. He has not shown one thing that he can be a good starter in this league.
In the preseason, in the regular season games, he was healthy. I haven't seen a flash from Trey Lance to say, that's the 49ers guy. That's the third pick. I didn't see a throw. I didn't see a pocket presence that said, that's the guy that should have went number 3. That's the guy that can take this team to a Super Bowl. And they spent him on the third pick for him.
They just can't wait. They just can't. Like
And
also
the only reason why he's getting reps, the only reason why he even started last year is because he was taken 3rd overall. When in reality, the whole time San Francisco knew Brock Purdy was better. Jimmy Garoppolo was probably better too. Jimmy Garoppolo is better.
that's a low bar, but yeah.
It's a low bar, but San Francisco's known for a while Brock Purdy was better. Apparently, I'm hearing reports that Brock Purdy was better last year in camp. But the only reason why Trey Lance started was because he was picked so high.
Well, the thing about Jimmy Garoppolo and Brock Purdy, like their play styles fit those systems. Like I don't know, you know.
Yeah, they need maybe like a Kirk Cousins goes to San Francisco. Now we're talking.
I mean,
that type of
okay,
quarterback.
like I know I crap on Kirk Cousins, but if they have a quarterback like Kirk Cousins, they'd probably be in the Super Bowl.
They're going to back-to-back Super Bowls and they're winning it. That's it. That's it.
Dude, I don't want to hear the Hall of Fame debates.
Kirk Cousins, Hall of Fame. Yes, dude. If he was in San Francisco and he had that roster and he won like a Super Bowl, Kirk Cousins as a Hall of Famer would be in that Eli Manning category.
Oh God,
Career longevity numbers, Super Bowl win.
no. The funny thing is, like, if you look at his career stats, like, you think like Kirk's one of the best quarterbacks ever, but you realize, like, on the field that he's Kirk Cousins. So
He's Kirk Cousins. But yeah, like, what do you even do with Trey Lance? Like, what do you do?
I mean, if you can't try to find a trade partner, just cut him. Like I know. Listen, you're in year 3. It's clearly not working. Like setbacks by injuries and stuff. I'm sorry. Like he looked terrible yesterday. I know we have 2 preseason games to go, but Sam Darnold looked way better than Trey Lance yesterday. He looked way better than him.
I think if I'm San Francisco, I'm going to wrap this up here before we move on to the rookie quarterbacks. Now we've kind of talked about their year 3. Let's talk about our rookies.
Trey Lance is basically a rookie, but
yeah, but kind of like Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid, year 3 rookie. San Francisco 49ers, just cut your ties, bro. Trey Lance, see you later, dog. It's okay. Go somewhere else. It's over.
Did not work.
For San Francisco, I know. Look in the mirror. You're just going to have to take a deep breath. You wasted about 3 first-round picks on this selection. It was a terrible decision. We all knew it was at the time, but you did. You thought it was cool. You're just going to have to look yourself in the mirror and just say, we messed up, but this is Brock Purdy's team. Trey Lance is not going to fit here. He's not going to work. He's not good enough. And just let him go. Trade him, take an okay, or just waive him. It's over.
I mean, for crying out loud.
4 sacks yesterday. I mean, I get it. I get we need to see him for the course of a season. He hasn't been healthy. He hasn't had a full season started. Ladies and gentlemen, he's had a couple preseason and regular season games under his belt. There hasn't been a single thing I've seen from Trey Lance that says, okay, Trey Lance might be the future of San Francisco. Trey Lance can win this division. I haven't seen a flash. I'm not asking for like a legit case study. I'm just asking for like a flash of a throw, a flash of just great pocket presence. And I haven't seen it. And yesterday, what did I see? 4 sacks. Yeah, give me Brock Purdy this season. What do we see?
Yeah, and also, like, for crying out loud, Brock Purdy, like, all the games he fully played, he was undefeated in. So
I'm getting a better thrower. I'm getting better pocket presence from Brock Purdy. That's just it. And I know it's going to suck. I know it's going to suck, but I know it's going to suck letting him go. It will. But he just has to go. It's not going to work. He's barely beating out Sam Darnold, dude. He's barely beating out Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
And we know we're going to get from Sam Darnold. We're going to get below mid from Sam Darnold. He's barely beating out Sam Darnold. And ladies and gentlemen, the only reason why he started last year was because of his draft value. That's it. That's the only reason why. Brock Purdy was a starter since day one. They couldn't start him because Trey Lance was picked at third. We're going to look back at this pick as one of the worst picks ever. Like, imagine if this team had Jamar Chase, Micah Parsons, Jalen Waddle, this defense, imagine the secondary had Surtain.
Or J.C. Horn. Or J.C.
Horn. But it's okay. They're going to have to bite the bullet. Trey Lance, see you later. I've seen enough.
I mean, this team is really lucky that they're good.
Yes. I'm not even confident that Trey Lance could win this division. Even this team's really good.
I mean, Seattle got better. They did get better. Like, I know Seattle has Geno Smith, and he's, like, kind of a meme, but, like, I mean, if Geno Smith, like, I don't see where Geno, like, I don't know if you want to talk about Geno, but, like, I don't know where Geno Smith fails in this offense. I really don't.
Oh, Geno Smith taking this team to the Super Bowl. Let's talk about rookies now. The rookies. Let's talk about some rookies. We talked about the year 3 guys. Let's talk rookies. Let's go in order on where they are drafted and just kind of give our quick thoughts on how they performed. You said earlier, I don't know if that was on the air or off the air. You thought Bryce Young looked the best in the preseason out of the 4 first-round rookies, and I honestly think it's right. So Bryce Young, he played against the Jets on Saturday. Just look at his stat line. Now, his stat line wasn't that crazy. His stat line was 4-6, 21 yards, got sacked. It wasn't like this crazy stat line out of Bryce Young. But
I think
what we saw from Bryce Young is that I saw some good pocket presence. I saw poise. My biggest concern was, dude, this dude's like 5'10" on a good day. He's like sub 200 pounds. If he gets knocked down, is he going to get flustered on an NFL defensive like presence? Like, what's going to happen here? He got up every time. He did get sacked, but I didn't think he looked scared out there. He looked pretty strong. He delivered the ball when he needed to. My actual takeaway from that game wasn't anything about Bryce Young. It was about how the Panthers are terrible and they're not winning no types of division. But what were your thoughts on Bryce Young?
I mean, like, I don't think he like wowed you anything anyway, but like, I think he showed you that he's very good under pressure. Like, he gets the ball out quick. Like, he's good. Like, he has the biggest floor like in this draft class, and I think he showed that yesterday.
I think he had the safest floor. And if you're a Panthers fan, this is your quarterback.
So, like, for a dude that is 5'10", because like when you think of like 5'10" quarterbacks, you think of Russell Wilson and Kyler Murray. They're more play extenders. They like try to roll out of the pocket, but they can't like throw like through the middle. But when I look at Bryce Young, he's very calm in the pocket. He can clearly throw over the middle. He just doesn't have the play extension of those guys. So if Bryce Young, like, I don't think Bryce Young's gonna be a superstar, but I think he could be a quality starter year 1.
Yeah, again, Bryce Young, didn't really wow us. I mean, I think he generated like 2 yards on offense when he was in for 3 possessions. The offense, he wasn't really pushing the ball down the field, but I don't think he could have. Like, the team just wasn't getting down the field.
Yeah.
And to all the people, I'm sorry to all the people who put money on Panthers winning this terrible division. They're not. They're not a rookie quarterback unless he's in like San Francisco on like that level team. They're not winning no division if they're a rookie. Chenault, Thielen, mid-wide receiver group. I don't know why people were kind of hyping this offense. It's not that good.
No, people are hyping up freaking they're hyping up Jonathan Mingo, and that dude is not good. Like,
I didn't see a lot from Jonathan Mingo.
That dude is so bad against press man coverage, and if you're bad against press man coverage, you are not going to succeed in the NFL,
especially
unless you have a God release.
Yeah, I'm looking at this team, dude. Thielen, Chenault, Chark, like their starters were there. Like, it's not like CJ Stroud was thrown in a preseason game with the B wide receivers. No, this is who he's going to throw to for the season. The offensive line was there. They even looked that good too. My biggest takeaway from this Panthers game, they scored 0 points in a preseason game, dude.
Yeah.
I see, like, that's not about Bryce Young. That's about a team that I don't think that's good. Bryce Young is going to look good. I don't think he's going to wow you in his rookie season. He's probably going to be the best rookie quarterback because I think he has the highest floor. But don't expect much statistically from him. Don't expect many wins. It's not on Bryce Young. It's just this team's not that good. And we saw the other day 0 points in the preseason. They couldn't even score when the backup defense got in. And when the starters were playing, they couldn't get down the field. Not much explosion from this offense.
Yeah, like, I don't know. Like I have the Panthers going 8-9, and that's because I think the defense is going to improve. But I feel like people just think the Panthers defense is good right now. They were not good last year at all. And they did lose Steve Wilkes, and they replaced him with the offensive minded coach. So
I can't see this team going 8-9, dude. I just can't. I can't see this offense generating enough points to win. They could win some games strictly like a 19-13 game. I can't see this team. Now they have a pretty decent schedule because they play in the NFC South.
Yeah, that's why I said they're going like 8-9.
But I just can't see this team winning many games just because this offense, unless Young can just put this team on his back and generate a lot of points, I just can't see that from a rookie, especially on a team like this. But now let's go to the Ohio State guy. CJ Stroud. Now he played Thursday. This was a minute ago, not gonna lie. He played Thursday, and man, was I just not impressed by the second quarterback taken off the board. Kieran, what are your thoughts on CJ Stroud, man?
He looked really rough. I mean, I don't know if you know this, but Bill Belichick is like the mastermind of like destroying rookie quarterbacks. So
he is. He has a really good record against young quarterbacks year 1 and year 2. Really good, especially in New England. You see that record. I mean, I'm not going to put a lot of stock into first game, first for a rookie in a preseason. They got to get adjusted to NFL speed. They just do. Corners are faster. Pockets collapse faster. You're not in Ohio State where you can just get that first read. Ohio State, Stroud was getting what? First reads, clean pockets, best O-line in Big Ten, best receivers in Big Ten. He was just getting clean pockets and able to get first reads when dudes were getting open. Now it's the NFL. You're not going to get your first or second read. The pocket's going to collapse in half the time. You're gonna get used to it. I'm not gonna put so much stock and say CJ Stroud to bust. Of course not.
Hell.
But
it's not Trey Lance. It's not Trey Lance.
But out of all the young quarterbacks that played, I think the biggest red flag came from CJ Stroud. And it was his pocket presence because I didn't think it was that good.
Yeah, so this is the problem with like Ohio State quarterbacks. I'm not counting Joe Burrow because that doesn't count. But like,
Joe Burrow came live in LSU. We're not really.
Yeah, we're not doing that. The thing about Ohio State quarterbacks, they usually have a godlike O-lines. Like their O-lines are always amazing. Most of them are always first round picks.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why like guys like Justin Fields and CJ Stroud, especially, like they struggle in the NFL with pocket presence because you can't tell if their pocket presence is good or bad because their O-line are covering their weaknesses most of the time. And like,
and their first read's always there because Marvin Harrison Jr. is wide open.
Yeah, that's why I always think like Ohio State quarterbacks always struggle in the NFL because they're not good under pressure. They're never good under pressure.
Yeah. Man, I'm watching Justin Fields play. I'm watching CJ Stroud play. It's like when people say Ohio State quarterbacks always fail in the NFL, I don't think it's a bad take. I don't think it's an anti-Ohio State take. I think there's a lot of truth into it. I'm not saying it's 100% true, but like you just said, right? The They have one of the best, if not the best, offensive line in the Big Ten. They always have first, second round draft picks on that offensive line. And their receiving group is by far the best receiving group in college football. I mean, if you have a receiving group of Jackson Smith and Jigba, Marvin Harrison Jr., Olave and Wilson, that's your 4. You should throw over 5,000 yards. You should have a first read available for you every single time. You have a clean pocket and you have a first read. But then you get to the NFL, the line, your offensive line is not nearly as good, is not as good relative to where it was in college. NFL defensive lines, pocket collapses in half the time. Your first read's not going to be there all the time. So these quarterbacks get in there, they're not used to the NFL speed. And as we saw from CJ Stroud, throws an interception. He struggled in the pocket, stepping up, going through his progressions, and delivering the ball on time. And that's why he threw an interception. Justin Fields, we haven't yet seen him push the ball down the field as often as we want to. Because these quarterbacks, I don't think they're not prepared to push the ball down the field. Step up in the pocket, look at three or four progressions, 3 or 4 reads, and then make that throw. I don't think they're ever prepared to. I'm not saying Stroud's going to be a bust. Of course not. But it's a little frightening seeing Stroud not look ready.
So I'm going to tell you the 7 quarterbacks that were taken, the last 7 quarterbacks taken from Ohio State. So CJ Stroud, Justin Fields, these are the last 6, my bad. CJ Stroud, Justin Fields, Dwayne Haskins, RIP.
Rest in peace.
Cardell Jones, Terrell Pryor, Troy Smith. What do those all have in common? They have either not worked out yet, or they're bust.
I only really start counting like Dwayne Haskins on. I don't really put too much stock into like Terrell Pryor and all those guys because I felt like from Dwayne Haskins, rest in peace, the late Dwayne Haskins on, like Dwayne Haskins, Justin Fields, and CJ Stroud. I thought those guys were like legit throwers in college football.
That's fair.
I didn't really like JT Barrett wasn't like wowing me as a passer like Stroud was.
Yeah, but I will say this: if there's one quarterback that will succeed from Ohio State to the NFL, it could be Justin Fields. It could be.
Also, like why I also say Justin Fields from the late Dwayne Haskins on is because those guys were taking the first round and they were taking the first round.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Whereas Terrell Pryor and all those guys, they weren't taken high because teams already saw it and they weren't as great of a throwers as the latter. But yeah. My boy Richardson, let's talk a little Colts. I know he threw an interception.
I don't think he played.
Threw an interception, but I don't think my boy played bad. I don't. I know he threw an interception, and people are going to be like, oh, you're a hypocrite because Stroud threw an interception. You said it's a red flag, but Richardson did it. Although I thought it was a red flag at first, I thought my boy redeemed himself later on. I thought he made some good throws. The arm strength was there. Now, pocket presence, accuracy, is it? It's a little questionable. It's a little questionable.
No, it's more than a little questionable.
I still see the accuracy issues from Florida, especially there was a couple balls where he threw a little too high. Like he was throwing some high balls to Pittman. They were just a little too high. I'm like, Richardson, you kind of got to drop it lower, man. But other than that interception where I'm like, dang, that footwork and accuracy, it's not looking too good.
Well, the Colts knew this. Like they knew this when
we did.
So like you got like listen, if Anthony Richardson has like a Josh Allen type rookie year, like you guys shouldn't be that mad because that was expected.
But the running was there. We saw him break a tackle and rush. The rushing is there. What was his rushing numbers? 2 yards, 2 carries, 7 yards. It's not crazy, but he was showing that he can break tackles. He can run over defenders with his size. So the running is there. He was 7-12 on the day. Not crazy. The rating was pretty low. No touchdowns, but he could have thrown a touchdown. If you saw the ball to Alec Pierce, it was a pretty good ball. The arm strength is there. We knew the positive of him was the arm strength. The arm strength looks good. I think he can sling the ball down the field if we give him time to. I don't really think we have receivers to sling the ball down the field, but that's another topic for another day. The arm strength is there, and the running's there. But I did see the accuracy issues. But I thought he was more of a positive that some people were trying to make out to be a huge negative. I would love to
Yeah,
see him
because
in game 2.
some people just say that like you throw an interception, you had a terrible game. And listen, I understand that he threw that really bad pass, but like if you just look at the arm angles where he threw it, bro, like it's kind of crazy. I'm not gonna lie.
I didn't think he played that bad. And then we go into Levis. Now, I don't know how much of Will Levis' performance you watched. Will Levis on the day was 9 of 14 in a late interception, which is
Yeah, like listen, I don't think he played terrible. There was obviously some throws where I was just like, "What the fuck are you doing?" But
yeah, that's why he went
if
second
I were to
round,
give
bro.
him a grade, I would give him like a C, like just straight up a C. I don't think
The
he played.
interception was pretty bad, though. I'm not gonna
It
lie.
it was bad, but it was at the end of the game. Like I don't know.
I mean, the positive I did see from Levis is you can tell his release was good. He can throw it down the field. He has some arm strength. He can get the ball out, but that interception wasn't that good. That was like,
Yeah,
oh my god.
it's the end of the game. It's fine. He'll get over it.
It ended the game though. Like it ended the game.
Yeah,
But Levis didn't. So if I was to rank the quarterback performances from the weekend, how would you rank them from the rookies?
I would go Bryce, and then I think I would go Richardson,
Okay.
maybe, and then I would go Levis, and then Stroud.
Poor Stroud. Poor,
I feel bad for Stroud, but he was generally bad.
poor Stroud. Like, man.
I
Again,
know. Listen. I understand it's his first preseason game. He obviously will probably play better next week, like because he's not playing the devil that is Bill Belichick. But
it's like I think that's a good ranking. I would rank the rookies' performances just like that because if I were to rank who did I see the more positives from to who I saw the least positives from, I think I saw the most positives from Bryce Young. I saw a quarterback who looked like the quarterback of the future in terms of, hey, I got poise, I could stand in the pocket. I just don't have good enough weapons to make these throws that you want me to make.
mhm.
And then when it comes to Richardson, although he threw that interception, we saw the rushing upside was clearly there, and the arm
Yeah,
strength is there, no question. And he did redeem himself. If Pierce would have caught that touchdown, we wouldn't really be talking about that interception as much. And Levis, although Levis threw that horrible interception at the end of the game, I saw a good release. I saw a dude who can push the ball down. I saw some arm strength. Stroud, unfortunately, again, first preseason game, no one's calling anybody a bust. Hell no. It's not no bust conversations.
Trey
But
Lance.
Stroud, in the limited time he did play, I didn't see much positive. I saw a guy who kind of just looked like an Ohio State QB in the NFL. A guy who is used to playing with an elite offensive line and elite receivers, a dude who's used to having a clean pocket, a dude who's used to that clean pocket, allowing him just to quickly throw to his first read. But when the first read is not there, he kind of struggled and was causing him to throw that interception. I still need to see Stroud hold on to the football in the pocket, step up, third read, and make a throw that he didn't show in Ohio State because it just wasn't there for him to progress in Ohio State because he didn't have to do it in Ohio State.
Yeah, that's fair.
But that's a good ranking. Kenny Pickett, you have anything to say about your boy before we move on to I have a fun basketball topic.
Kenny Pickett, like, yeah, he was really good. I thought what it made it like his drive underrated is that like the out of play structure. He's hitting dimes like on a rope, like, and I don't know what it is. Like, I thought we saw more of his arm strength because some of those throws like require some pretty good arm strength. So
You know who's actually looking kind of far? Dorian Thompson Robinson.
I want DTR to succeed so bad.
He's looking kind of fire in preseason. I'm not gonna lie. He's looking fire.
Preseason warrior.
I know he's never gonna touch the field, but the dude's eating in
Hey,
preseason. He's got some
hey,
touchdowns, bro.
hey, Niners trade DTR to.
I'm doing Lance for Dorian Thompson Robinson in a heartbeat, dude.
Yeah,
If I'm the Niners, I think DCR out of UCLA can lead me to a
Out
Super
of
Bowl.
all schools, UCLA.
DTR is going into Philly in the NFC Championship and winning that game. So,
Honestly, yes.
all right. So Kyrie Irving, he
Hmm.
was in some headlines over the weekend. Not really headlines, just a lot of people were talking about him because it was Kyrie dominating. Kyrie's bag was on display at some basketball event. And everyone on Twitter was like, "Bro, Kyrie's so nice, bro. Kyrie has he tween." Everyone loves Kyrie Irving. That's what I'm trying to say. And I just wanted to ask you to wrap up the show. I wanted to do a Would You Rather Kyrie edition
Oh, okay. I would like
because I
that.
saw because there's still a lot of people believe Kyrie's the third best point guard in the NBA. A lot of people think Kyrie's up here, and I see a lot of people talking about Kyrie over the weekend. And I just wanted to ask Kieran, I'm gonna give you some point guards, and you tell me, are you taking Kyrie or this point guard? So, would you rather Kyrie edition? Give you some point guards here, and you tell me if you would take them over Kyrie or not. Obviously, I'm not listing Steph, SGA, Luca, but
Okay.
what about Damian Lillard?
Um, I've said this for a while. It's Damian Lillard, and it's really not that close. And I don't want,
Jalen? Oh no, say what you gotta say.
and like, I don't want to shit on Kyrie, but it's just not that close.
Jalen Brunson.
Kyrie Irving.
Why Kyrie over Jalen Brunson?
I think Kyrie's still a better scorer and playmaker overall. I just think he's the better overall offensive player. I love Jalen Brunson. I'm a Knicks fan, but Kyrie's a better for now.
All right, the dude who's too busy playing with guns, Ja Morant.
Oh, I'm gonna go with Ja.
I think I'd go with Ja too. And is it because of playmaking?
There is like I think Ja can bring more to an offense. Like I think he creates more for his teammates more than Kyrie Irving. Like clearly,
And if
and
you're
yeah,
taking, oh yeah,
Kyrie is a better scorer, but I think the rim pressure, the passing, and like that Ja Morant brings is I would take that over Kyrie Irving. So
I'm guessing if you're taking Ja, you're gonna take the dude who's already balding at 25. You're taking Trey Young.
yes, I'm taking Trae Young over Kyrie.
Let's get interesting here. Fan favorite on Twitter, Tyrese Halliburton.
Why'd you say Halliburton? I'm taking Kyrie.
No love for Halliburton.
I just like I need more of Tyrese Halliburton because like I know he's a good player, but I think he's more of like the fraudulent assist player right now.
Oh, the
Like
Rondo assist guy. All right,
yeah,
this is really close. This is a close player. De'Aaron Fox. Really tough.
I like I don't know. Like they're right next to each other. I'm gonna say Kyrie. I think De'Aaron in like a year or two could be better, but I'm gonna say Kyrie right now.
By how much? I have them right next to each other on my top NBA players list.
Yeah, I literally like I think I have Kyrie at like 7 for point guards and like De'Aaron at 8. So
What
it's
about the dude who's having triple doubles in the finals, Jamal Murray?
I'm gonna say this right now. I don't want to crap on Jamal Murray, but like people saying that like he's a top 5 point guard is crazy. Like I'm still
Playoff elevation, though, bro.
like there has to be a point where like we have to like count the regular season. There
The
has to
regular
be a
season
like
does matter.
the dude's
So,
averaging like 20, like he's averaging 20 and 5 in the regular season.
so I'm guessing the point guards. Oh, almost left. So I'm guessing the point guards you have above Kyrie are Steph, Luca, SGA, Dame, Ja, and Trey. That's 6. So Kyrie would be 7.
Yes. And then De'Aaron Fox is 8, and then like Brunson and Jamal would be 9 and 10.
Okay. I don't disagree at all. I don't disagree at all. The Fox and Kyrie one is definitely interesting.
Yeah, I think Fox could be better. I just need to see more. Um, I don't think he's fully developed as like that playmaker yet. Like I don't know. Like I don't want to crap on Kyrie Irving because I've done I've called Kyrie Irving the most overrated player in NBA history before.
It's because of his
because
fan base, bro.
no,
You
it's
just
not
don't
even
like his
that.
fan.
It's like
You just don't
they
like his
think
fan base.
like the problem with Kyrie Irving is that people think that like just because you could do cool layups and like freaking handles makes him the most skilled player of all time. And it's like, oh, if you take away accolades, like Kyrie Irving's a top 10 player of all time. It's like, no, that's not how it works. Like, because like that's what people say to me all the time. Oh, Kyrie Irving without accolades is top 10 player of all time. Is like,
Wait,
okay,
people say that?
yes, yes,
I've
yes.
never heard anyone say
They
that.
say they say about two guys all the time. It's Tracy McGrady and Kyrie Irving.
Oh my god! If I had to hear about T Mac one more time,
Yeah, but like, oh, it's like, oh, Tweet Hezzy Splash, top 10 player ever. I was like, and people think he's a better scorer than Shaq. I was like, bro, stop.
who's a better scorer than Shaq?
They say Kyrie Irving's a better scorer than Shaq.
He's the more skilled scorer.
Yeah, like people have to understand, so like production in football is like different because like it's more like scheme based, but like when it comes to the NBA, like it's not really that scheme based, and
It's a lot of
like
ISO. It's like
yeah, it's a lot of ISO, and people that say that Kyrie Irving is like a better scorer than Shaq, even like Michael Jordan, like it's just like annoying.
he's the more skilled scorer. But when we talk about the best scorers ever, dude, I want to see ball and basket at an efficient level. I don't care how you score it. I just want to see ball and basket. That's it.
And Kyrie Irving's efficient. He's very efficient.
Very.
Like,
But is
but
he
like
dominating as much as Shaquille O'Neal as a scorer? No.
relative to era, like efficiency wise, Shaq is clearly more efficient. Like he is.
And he's just not dominating as much as Shaq does. He doesn't have the scoring playoff runs like Shaq does, the NBA final scoring like Shaq does.
And like I don't like people don't understand this. Like the reason why like Melo and like Kyrie and like all these other guys like Karl Malone are like top 10 scorers because their play regresses heavily from the playoffs. Like heavily. You know?
Yeah. Hey, Karl Malone, would he be a dude? I still think he's a top 15 player all time if he had a championship. But the reason why he doesn't have a championship is because the scoring dropped.
Yeah, he just like Karl Malone, like most of those Jazz teams just like regressed a lot too. Like Stockton even like dropped off too. Like a lot of people don't talk about it. Like yeah, Stockton and Malone have had some good playoff runs, but they've also had so many stinkers that they should have won.
Yeah. I still think Malone's the best player without a ring ever. Steve Nash fans can cry, but
That's a take.
how is it a tick? The man, Karl Malone, two-time MVP, facts, has 11 first teams, facts, all defensive teams, facts. Would have multiple scoring titles if that bald man from Chicago did not exist, facts. Been to two finals, facts. Like,
So if I'm ranking like players like best players to never win a ring. Like I think we have a set top five, right? It'd be like Steve Nash, it'd be Charles Barkley, it'd be Karl Malone, it'd be Chris Paul, and it'd be James Harden.
yeah,
That'd be pretty good, right? Like
then AI at 6.
Allen Iverson is so overrated.
I'd still put Allen Iverson at 6, bro. That's just me.
Eh, Reggie Miller better.
Oh my! No, you're just like Jaden. You're just like Jaden. You're just like
Uh,
Jaden.
I've never been a fan of AI. Like it doesn't really matter.
I'm
But
not a huge fan too. I believe Harden's better. I think Clyde's probably better, but actually, okay, it's a debate.
nah, Clyde's probably better.
But
But like
I can't give you Reggie Miller. I see the efficiency. I see the great playoff resilience. But my thing is, bro, MVP of this league. There's a point. I just don't see like how a dude who's a fringe third teamer in the NBA could be better than a dude who was making first teams after first teams. A dude who can actually call like a top 5 player in this league for a couple years, whereas you couldn't really say the same for Reggie Miller compared
yeah,
to Allen Iverson.
I don't know. Like the thing about I hate the 13s because I think like the players that like made it, like I think there was a point where like point guards, like that was the point where point guards and shooting guards were made it. So like I don't know.
He was still losing NBA teams to Latrell Sprewell and Mitch Richmond. Um,
Latrell Sprewell better than Iverson? No, I'm kidding.
I just can't like. I tried saying this on a live the other day. I'll give you Clyde, but I can't because I think Clyde. You could say Clyde at one point was 5 best players in the league. Clyde was a good player. I think Clyde is all NBA first team under his belt as well.
I think Clyde's underrated.
But dudes who were never ever considered in the breadth of Allen Iverson's level of play should not be over Allen Iverson. And I said this also too is like when we rank players, we have to consider the fact of how they were judged also in their era. Like if you were never considered one of the best players in your league, like a top 5 player when someone else was, I favor the dude who was considered for a top 5 player for a couple of years.
Yeah, it's just like I don't know. It's kind of unfair to Miller because like he put
It's
in the
close. I don't think it's a huge gap. I'm thinking Allen
when
Iverson because he has all NBA first teams. He's an MVP. He would actually consider him a top 5 player in the league for a couple of years, which I don't think you could for Reggie Miller.
I was gonna say that like when Miller was playing, especially in his prime, I'm not talking like after like '99 because that's when he regressed heavily. But like, I mean, you had Michael Jordan, you had Shaq, you had Akeem, David Robinson, Patrick Ewing, like
Well, Allen
yeah,
Iverson. Well, a lot of those guys other than Michael Jordan were not his position, and he was still not winning all NBAs. Allen Iverson had Kobe, he had Shaq, Tim Duncan, Garnett, Tracy McGrady scoring 30 a game. Like he had legit all NBA first team comp as well, and Allen Iverson was still making them.
I just want to see who made these like all NBA teams. That's the thing.
I'll
Because like,
pull it up because I did when
like, I want to see like okay, so the guards. Okay, this makes even more sense now. So the guards were Gary Payton and Michael Jordan.
All right. So what year are you starting? I think we had to start at like 89. What was
Yeah.
like 90?
You want to start at what? So do you want to start at 90 because that was like his first All Star team?
Yeah, let's start at 90.
Okay. 1990 All NBAs. Okay, let's
Let's
see.
start at 92, actually. 92. 91 to 92 is Clyde MJ in first team. Drazen Petrovic, third team with Tim Hardaway Sr.
That's just dick riding. I'm
no,
sorry.
Drazen was on 90 on the 93 team. My bad. I looked the wrong year.
Okay, I will get 92.
Mark Price. So 91 to 92 was Mark Price, Kevin Johnson on third team, John Stockton, Tim Hardaway on second team, and Jordan and Drexler on third team. 93. This is when we start getting into like comp Reggie Miller when the Pacers were actually like winning games. Drazen and Tim Hardaway on third team. He was not better than John Stockton. He was not better than Michael Jordan. Dumar's on second team. Mark Price was first team. Okay.
Really?
Let's go to 94. The year that Michael Jordan was retired from the league. Latrell Sprewell was first team All NBA.
Yo.
Mitch Richmond was second team All NBA, and Mark Price was third team All NBA. Reggie Miller made third team in 95.
He made it in 95 and 96, I think.
Mitch Richmond was second team in 95.
I'm sorry. Listen, I'm sorry. Mitch Richmond's just not better.
No, bro. Mitch Richmond in the regular season was literally closer to Reggie Miller than a lot of people don't give him credit for. They were putting up similar numbers. They were really good shooters. The difference is the Kings were not as good as the Pacers. Now, Reggie Miller's playoffs are better, but I don't think Mitch Richmond had horrible playoffs when he actually was able to get to the playoffs. I still think Reggie Miller's better, but I don't think people realize how close Mitch Richmond and Reggie Miller were.
I mean, Richmond wasn't bad, but like he dropped off like a lot.
Well, there's not that big of a playoff sample size again because
there's so he made it the second round twice on Golden State. He was on Golden State, and then he made it one. I mean, he made it
wasn't
once.
horrible in the playoffs with Golden State.
I agree. No, he wasn't horrible. I just say there was a drop off, and then he made it once with Sacramento.
That sack year, there was a bit of a drop off, but I don't think how many games did he play though?
4.
96. Yeah, there was 4 games. There was a bit of a drop
Oh,
off.
97.
Hey,
Tim
you
Hardaway.
got a championship though. Shout out to the 0-2 Lakers.
Yeah. I mean, Penny Hardaway. Penny Hardaway 13. Yeah, Penny Hardaway was definitely better than Reggie.
Hey, Mitch Richmond and Reggie Miller in the 98 third team. Rod Strickland's second team in 98. Like, okay.
This is all right, dude. Rod Strickland on a team at all is crazy.
That's who he was losing to. And then Kobe came around. Allen Iverson came around. Allen Iverson in 99 was automatically first team.
I mean, at that point, 99, Reggie was declining. So,
but that's all I got to talk about. But we just did a little deep dive, a little tangent into Reggie Miller's career, and now Allen Iverson is up there.
Okay. I mean, like, listen, I'm not one of those people. Like, I think like Iverson's like the 7th best shooting guard, but like, I'm not saying that Reggie clears. Like, I'm not like some of those people. I think if you want like more of a 4 raising, like, I will say this, I do think Iverson peaked higher. I will say that.
Of course he did. Of course he did.
I don't know. It's just like hard to give for me to give him everything else.
I will give impact on winning to Reggie Miller. I will give him that, but
yeah,
it's hard for me to put a fringe 13 guy above a dude who was a couple years in a row one of the best players in the league. Like Reggie Miller and T-Mac. Might go T-Mac there.
T-Mac did peak higher. He did. But, like, it's so hard to, like, rank him even, like, high because his peak, like even in Houston, like, I think in Houston it gets kind of overrated. But, like, after he left Orlando, it's just hard to, like, rank him that high all time.
Yeah. Well, that's all I got. Cue the music. Boom. Love this music. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Kind of rambled at the end, but the more basketball knowledge to fill your brains. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to Some Casual Takes 55. Follow Some Casual Takes on Instagram and TikTok for clips of the show and updates to when next time we're going live. Next show will be Friday, I believe, at 12:30. Counting down to school. I think I got 2 more shows in my crib before I have to move in. So the backdrop's going to change. Hopefully the internet's good over there because I'm going to be mad if the internet's not there. But thank you for Kieran for popping on. We talked about some football today and some basketball. But until Friday, see ya. See ya.